Yes, people, what is going on? The Miami Dolphins win again, but let's be real with ourselves. We won it because the Jets are crap. Look, we win 20-3, which is, again, a decent scoreline. We beat them, of course, earlier on in the season, about, what was it, 6 weeks ago, if that? 5-6 weeks ago, we beat them 24-0. Or 24-0 for my American watchers, which is probably most of you, to be fair. Yeah, we were the better side, but it was more because of they were pup than us being like amazing. Let's just get into the game. It wasn't the most brilliant start in the world, I didn't think. Kind of a bit meh to get going and whatever. Obviously we went behind and we were drawing at 3-3 for a fair while. Then we go and get the touchdown and pretty much the game was out of reach from there. For the Jets, and I mean, we got the one, not at the end, but it just killed the game off completely. The fact that we were, in field goal range, in touchdown, red zone kind of contention with the last drive, we didn't even bother going for it because we knew that it was done and dusted. The maths was done. And I think if we'd have got the 27... 3 victory, then I think it would have been probably a little bit unfair on the Jets. Not necessarily unfair, maybe unfair is the wrong word. I think it would have probably flattered us a little bit. So I'm kind of happy that we've won by the lesser scoreline, if that makes any sort of sense. But no, the main thing for me, of course, is the dub. That's what matters. Gesicki got our first touchdown. Shaheen got our second touchdown. But let's talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Obviously, with Tua being out because of a jammed thumb, I don't quite know how that happens, but I haven't seen any reports or whatever. That's just me personally, so I might be missing something really, really obvious. But I don't quite know how that happens. Fitzpatrick comes in, and I'll be honest, I actually wanted a bit more. I think the Dolphins really could have... I think we could have done with a really big victory after what was a really crap performance last week. A really crap loss. I really wanted us to kind of come out fighting and go, right, we absolutely won it, and we're going to go and muller whoever's in our way. And unfortunately, it would have been the Jets, who, unfortunately for them, brilliant for us. But the main thing I wanted to see Tua. Of course, he was out injured. I wanted this to be a game that Tua really went, there we are, world, go for it. Look at everything I can do. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that, obviously, because he wasn't playing. So you kind of went, well, Fitz, can you show the world what you can do? And he did it in bits, but he did it... I don't know how many times he got sacked, but it wasn't the most convincing game I've ever seen in my life. I can't lie. From him, and people saying, "Oh my God, it's Fitzmagic and he was on fire and whatever." I think a fair few of his completions, and he passed for, I think it was over 200 yards and definitely had 2 touchdowns. But Devontae Parker got 100 of those yards, and you're kind of looking at it and thinking, well, did Devontae Parker just absolutely run the show? Yeah, that would be my argument. He managed to pick up the ball, and when he did, he managed to go a little bit further, and he got a lot of yards after the catch as well. Not necessarily like 40, 50 yards. We're talking, just 5 or 6, which obviously adds up and adds up and adds up. That kind of thing really helps the Dolphins. So Fitzpatrick had an easy job today. Fair play to him. You can only play those in front of you. But the receivers, I thought, did very, very well. I thought they did very, very well. And of course, we get 2 tight ends getting touchdowns. Brilliant. Devontae Parker doing his bit as well. But we really lacked in the run game, obviously. We've got a lot of people out. I still think we need a proper running back. I had Salvan Ahmed, or Ahmed as people are trying to say, in my fantasy team. Obviously, he's been out injured, so he was a kind of a big loss for me this week, and he was a big loss for the Dolphins. But even then, do I think he's like up there where he needs to be? No, not really. I look at Derrick Henry, who's just run for a stupid amount of yards, pretty much won the game by himself. He had a hat-trick before half-time. That kind of thing is what I think the Dolphins need. And I did look at large parts of it today. The Jets' defense, to be fair, was better than I kind of expected, but we should have been annihilating them. And with a really, people are saying, oh my God, we're playoff contenders. A playoff contender team should have been absolutely annihilating them. And I think a large chunk of it came from Fitz, maybe a little bit of unfamiliarity and maybe a little bit of a predictable outcome at times with what Fitz was going to do. But I think we need a lot more weapons on offense. I really, really do. I think we've got some good weapons and some good options. Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, I think is good. But, there's a lot more we could do. There is a lot more we can do. And yeah, I've seen some of the people that are available and whatever as free agents. Obviously, Kenny Stills has now been let go. Potentially, we could bring him back. That's a debate for Dolphins fans to have for a long, long time. But yeah, no, look, it's a win for the Dolphins, and that's the most important thing. We shouldn't go too nuts on it. The Jets were pup. We just beat whoever's in front of us. In terms of the playoffs, what does it mean? Obviously, we've got the game against the Bengals next week, which is, again, should be another dub. But it really just highlights how big of a loss it was last week for us. Because, I mean, if we'd have won the game last week, we would now have been 8-3, which is pretty much like playoff bound. But we're not. We're 7-4, and the Bills look like they're going to continue to win games. And if it's going to come down to us versus the Bills on the final day of the season, even if we do win it, they're going to have the head-to-head record on us. So, the divisional record on us. So, I'm a bit annoyed. I am a bit annoyed, and it is what it is. But yeah, look, this game alone, we did enough. And that should be the bottom line. So yeah, we did enough in this game. Obviously, we win it. It's not brilliant, but it's enough. We go again against the Bengals next week. And look, I mean, who knows how far we can go? Can we make the playoffs? We definitely can. Do we play Tua? Do we play Fitz? Do we play whoever? You know, these are all things that have to be sorted out, and it's going to be really interesting this week to see how it all pans out. But I think for me, honestly, playoff kind of spots are looking a bit unlikely at the moment. Unless one of the other teams has a ginormous misery in the next couple of weeks. But I don't know, I have a weird feeling that's not going to happen. So it is what it is. And maybe I'm a little bit pessimistic. But, you know, we're still a decent football team. Which we haven't been for quite a while. So, yeah, I'm going to round this up. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new around here, make sure you like, share and subscribe. Subscribe to Craigo28 Sports. Subscribe to Craigo28 Football. Dolphins beat the Jets. Done. See you later. Bosh.